So PCB formally inducted him into Hall of Fame. Like, why would you induct somebody in Hall of Fame while his career has been like tainted? But that's PCB. And you have like characters like superheroes being named after him, like this Wasim Akram Plus, you know? Such was his popularity. Well, don't get me wrong, but this book is purely for those who have watched and followed Pakistan cricket from the late 80s to probably late 90s or around early 2000. So I'll again continue where I left off, and I'll probably skip a few. His stories are still half-baked, like he's still hodgepodge kind of stuff that he mentions, which has probably got no meaning to it, but they're good stories to tell. He's telling background and he's building up something, which we'll eventually figure out what he's trying to say. So I'll just start off where I left, and he mentioned something about Akai Singer Champions Trophy, with West Indies, India, England, and Pakistan playing, and then England wins that trophy, and then there are again conspiracy theories and in-house feuds at PCB, so people are again doubting, and he again uses that word. I was also, well, not injured, but palpably below par. He loves using that word, palpable. I don't know why. So then he mentions his father kidnapping was belatedly reported, leading to wild rumor mongering, and I sensed the finger of suspicion. Struggling physically and mentally, I was plunged into despondency. Anticipating that I would be sacked again, I chose to resign the captaincy, went to London to see my shoulder surgeon, Ian Bailey. So I'll start from here, reading from here. While in the UK, I was scrolling teletext when I saw that Pakistan's party for the forthcoming tour of South Africa had been named. I was not in it. There was no public explanation. Internally, it seemed that Majid Khan had finally had his way. Anyone mentioned in the context of match fixing was no longer to be considered for selection. One of the selectors, Zahir Abbas, the Asian breadman, disassociated himself from the team. Chairman of selectors, Salim Altaf, stood by the choice. The funny thing was that this was not the worst of my worries. Now, he's getting a bit emotional. What follows next is a bit emotional, his personal story. I was by now feeling very unwell indeed. Weight was falling off me. I had started urinating constantly and copiously. I had never felt weaker. When I returned to Pakistan, I played a first-class match for PIA against Allied Bank in Karachi. I dragged myself through 15 hours. Then when I batted, went to sweep and strained not one, but both hamstrings. So he's sweeping and his both hamstrings go off. I battled to 59, putting on 129 with Moeen in 2 hours, but could not bowl again. And when I got back to Lahore, I collapsed in exhaustion. My omission then was unnecessary. I would not have been fit to go anyway. My father was concerned. Have you considered diabetes? He asked. I hardly even knew what it was, but I agreed to take a blood test. A normal human has blood sugar level of 110. Mine was 440. So I'll just stop here to keep it short. So he's been diagnosed with diabetes now, and rumors are still going off. He's still being suspected, and I'll just continue in the next episode. I'll try to finish this in the next 3 or 4 videos so that we can probably move on. Thanks for...
It was the former vice-captain of the Pakistan team, wicketkeeper Rashid Latif, who first blew the whistle on his captain Salim Malik back in 1994. He deserves the credit for forcing the match-fixing issue into the public domain and was rewarded by being dropped from the team. Rashid Latif now runs a free cricket clinic for talented youngsters who can't afford to pay for coaching.
He is the most important person in Pakistan to bring this matter to the public. So he was removed, and ever since he's been out of the team.
And that's because, in your view, he blew the whistle on match fixing?
Yes.
Rashid Latif told the story of how in 1994 he was offered $25,000 by Salim Malik to help lose the 5th one-day match against New Zealand, to be played in Christchurch the following day. He refused to be involved.
I'm surprised.
The next morning, after he took 2 catches, his captain Salim Malik came over to the stumps to reprimand him.
Next day I hold 2 catches of bowling of Waqar Yunus. In between the innings, Salim Malik came for me and said, you drop some catches.
He's telling you, don't catch them, drop them.
Yeah.
I won the toss. We'll bowl.
You're going to bowl, eh?
Yeah.
All right, Mark. Calling back.
I think.
It was in October of the same year, 1994, when Australia toured Pakistan, that Salim Malik offered Shane Warne $200,000 for him and Tim May to bowl badly on the last day of the first test in Karachi. 3 weeks later, Malik sought out Mark Waugh to see if he'd organise 4 or 5 Australians to throw the upcoming one-day match in Rawalpindi. The players declined the offer, told the Australian Cricket Board, who told the International Cricket Council. But they all decided to keep the story from the public.